It started during the fall semester of my sophomore year at Whitmore University, a quiet college nestled between the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. The leaves had begun to turn, and the air was crisp with that seasonal blend of possibility and nostalgia. I was majoring in psychology, and everything in my life was relatively normal, or so I thought. My name is Jessica Walker. I was a 20-year-old student, reasonably studious, not too wild, and living in the North Haven dorms, a co-ed building known for its Victorian design and creaky floorboards. My roommate, Megan Carter, was bubbly and loud, the complete opposite of me, but we got along like sisters. We'd been paired together freshman year and decided to stick together again. North Haven had a reputation. Everyone said it was historic, but really it was just old. The elevators worked only when they felt like it, and the heating system either baked you alive or left you frozen. The building had 3 floors, and we lived on the top one, room 313. I know the number already sets the tone, but we didn't think anything of it back then. Everything changed during midterms. The stress levels across campus were insane, with students pulling all-nighters and living off vending machine snacks and caffeine. One night, around 2:30 a.m., I woke up to the sound of soft scratching coming from our closet. At first, I assumed it was Megan getting into her stash of snacks or maybe a mouse. Old buildings often had them. But when I sat up, I noticed Megan was fast asleep in her bed, earbuds in, completely unaware of the sound. The scratching continued, gentle but rhythmic. I stared at the closet door for a while, trying to convince myself it was nothing. Then the scratching stopped. Just like that. The silence was even more unnerving than the sound. The next morning, I casually asked Megan if she'd heard anything strange during the night. She shook her head and laughed it off, teasing me for watching too many horror movies. I tried to brush it off too, but in my gut something felt off. Over the next few nights, the scratching happened again, always between 2 and 3 a.m. Then things escalated. The closet door, which we always kept shut, would sometimes be slightly open when we woke up. I even tried stacking a pile of textbooks in front of it one night. The next morning they were scattered across the floor like someone, or something, had knocked them over. I went to the RA, a junior named Eric Reynolds, and explained everything. He was a kind guy, always willing to help, but he looked skeptical. "Jess, I've lived in this building 2 years," he said. "North Haven makes weird noises. Pipes, wood drafts. The walls are practically cardboard." Still, he offered to check the closet for rodents. He didn't find anything. No droppings, no nests, nothing. "Probably just the building settling," he said with a shrug. Megan continued to laugh it off, even when her own things started moving. One morning, her hairbrush was in the mini fridge. Another time, her journal was found in the bathroom sink, soaked. I was growing more paranoid. My grades started slipping. I stopped sleeping well. I even asked to stay over at my friend Tasha's apartment off campus a couple of times, just to get away. But every time I returned, I felt it, that strange heaviness in the air. The real horror began on Halloween night. The university hosted a campus-wide event called Fright Fest, with hayrides, horror movie marathons, and costume contests. Megan went as a gothic witch, and I half-heartedly dressed as a nurse just to participate. We returned to the dorm around midnight, laughing and slightly tipsy from too much apple cider. When we entered room 313, we both froze. All the lights were on. Our beds were turned, like physically rotated and facing the walls. Every drawer was pulled open, and Megan's mirror was shattered on the floor, shards scattered in a perfect circle. I could feel my breath catch in my throat. Megan, for once, didn't joke. "Jess, what the hell is this?" We ran down the hall to Eric's room. He came back with us and witnessed the scene himself. His usual casual demeanor disappeared. "Okay, this is weird," he muttered. Campus security was called. They checked the footage from the security cameras in the hallway. There was no sign of forced entry. No one had gone in or out of our room during the time we were gone. Not even us. The footage just cut out for exactly 17 minutes, then came back with us entering the room again. That same night, I had the worst nightmare of my life. In the dream I was in our dorm, but everything was backwards. The walls bled, the lights flickered violently, and in the closet stood a shadowy figure. I couldn't make out its face, but I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. It whispered my name, over and over. Jessica! I woke up screaming, drenched in sweat. Megan had also had a nightmare, though hers was different. In hers, she saw herself sleepwalking into the closet and vanishing. Neither of us could sleep after that. We begged the administration to move us to another room. They agreed, eventually. We were relocated to a different dorm on the other side of campus. Life returned to normal, or as normal as it could be after something like that. But that wasn't the end. A few weeks later, we received a message from a senior named Laura who used to live in room 313. She'd heard what happened and asked to meet in person. We sat down with her at a campus cafe. Her hands trembled as she clutched her latte. It started the same way, she said. Scratching, missing items, weird dreams. Then my roommate, she changed. She started sleepwalking, talking to herself. She ended up dropping out mid-semester. No one talks about it, but it's happened before. Room 313 has a history. According to Laura, decades ago, back in the late 1960s, a student named Caroline Miller had lived in that room. She was introverted, kept to herself, and was often bullied. One night, she vanished without a trace. Rumors swirled, some said suicide, others said she ran away. But her body was never found. Some students believed her spirit never left. I dug into the university archives. Sure enough, I found a small article from 1969. Student disappearance still unsolved. There was even a black and white photo of Caroline. I can still see them. Hello. We returned to room 313 one last time with Laura. The university had temporarily closed it for maintenance, but Laura still had her old key. We snuck in just before Thanksgiving break. The room was ice cold, even though the heat was on. We stood there in silence until Megan spoke. Caroline, she said aloud. We know you're here. But we don't want to hurt you. We just want to help. The closet door creaked open slowly. Inside was nothing but a dusty floor and a faint marking on the back wall. I took a step closer and saw it, etched into the wall in what looked like faded pencil. I'm still here. They never saw me. But I saw them. A gust of wind slammed the closet shut, and we all screamed. That was the last time we ever went back. Now I'm about to graduate. Life has moved on. I've changed dorms 3 times, got into a steady relationship, and even made the dean's list. But sometimes in the quiet hours of the night, I'll hear a faint scratching, not in the walls but in my mind. Room 313 was never just a dorm room. It was a trap for lost souls, perhaps a mirror for our own fears. Some say ghosts aren't real, but I know what I felt. I know what I saw. And I'll never forget Caroline Miller. Even now, I wonder if